Hi, Tom from bknutrition.com, and today I want to talk about, are protein bars any good? Are they helpful in getting you your muscle gains? Are they worth the money? Now, there's a lot of protein bars that have come out recently which are basically protein versions of chocolate bars. So you have protein Snickers, protein Mars, protein boost, you have things like protein cornflakes, protein Weetabix, protein coffee. All these things have now got protein in them, and it's intended to get a hook on, because people are thinking about protein more, about building muscle more. People are aware that protein and eating more protein is good for you, and also a lot of people are aware that there's a certain amount of protein you have to eat in a day in order to make sure you're getting maximal muscle gains. So this is why a lot of companies have jumped on the protein bandwagon and have chucked protein into all their foods, charged double for it, and then market it as a protein food. So are they any good? Now let's look at some of these brands. Now, protein bars originally were these things developed for bodybuilders, and it was intended so they could have some sort of quick protein snack when they're outside the gym, whatever. So an alternative to, say, whey shakes and protein shakes and stuff like that, because in the olden days of bodybuilding, you didn't have things like portable shakers and stuff like that. You had a shaker and you put your protein powder in. And in the old days, and if you're my age, 40, you'll remember this, is that protein about 1990 did not mix very well. You had things like with the wider protein, the Megamass 4000. You had things like the Pro Max and the Muscle Tech stuff, and it was all let's say questionable in terms of its mixing. That a lot of it was cakey, and when you shaked it up, it was all lumpy. It wasn't a nice thing to eat, and we didn't have the ways to sort of portable it around. So that's why protein bars came into existence, and it was a way basically marketed that you could eat a protein bar and get your 30 grams protein or whatever. And there was a sort of a battle in the sort of early 2000s, I think, with people trying to put as much protein into their protein bar as they could, and you could get protein bars with like 50 grams of protein in. Now the problem is when you try and put whey protein into a protein bar, it generally makes it very dry and very horrible to eat, because it's not a thing that's palatable. You bite into a Snickers, it's all caramel and nuts and nougat and everything else. Like, yeah, awesome, that's a nice taste. You bite into a protein bar, and there used to be ones called Detour. I don't think they're out anymore. They were sort of like the Snickers bar, and it was a lot of chocolate and peanuts and everything else. But it was a big bar, and it was very sickly, because whey also doesn't taste very nice. It's quite bitter, so you have to add a lot of sweetness to it to actually make it taste very nice. So you had these sort of protein bar wars over a couple of years, and then now we've got. It sort of went away for a little bit. You had things like Quest bars, which were popular for a while, and now obviously you've got grenade bars, which I would say probably is the market leader now. And grenade bars do taste very nice. I am a fan of grenade bars, and there are other ones on the market, of course, and I have had lots of different ones, and we've sold different ones in the gym. But the thing is with these protein bars, are they actually any good? Do they do you any good in terms of your nutrition? Now, you've got that sort of thing, which is specifically built for the performance market, and also the crossover into other markets. But then you've also got people like Snickers and Mars and stuff adding protein into their bars to sort of catch on to this hook. Now, what I would say is, if you actually looked at the value of protein in these bars, it is minimal. It's about 10 to 12 grams, something like that. That's not a lot of protein to put into a protein bar. If you look at, say, grenade bars, or obviously the days of old protein bars, they were about 25 to 30 grams of protein per bar, because the idea was it was to replace a scoop of protein. So it was touted as a sort of a post-workout replacement. And while the Snickers bars and everything else taste nice, the protein that's added is actually minimal. If you look at the actual normal Snickers bar, a normal Mars bar, whatever, the protein, there is some protein in them anyway, because they're made from dairy, so there's going to be some milk protein and a few other things in there. So there is some protein in them anyway. And if you look at the protein versions, it's only a very minimal amount of extra protein that's actually got into that. Now, here's the other thing, is that for muscle building, we really want a complete protein with all the amino acids in. And so that comes from like whey protein or casein protein is really the one you want there. But a lot of these companies are adding things like gluten, which is a protein, it's a wheat protein, to their products and they're marketing it as a protein product, but that gluten is going to do nothing for your muscle building. It's not a complete protein. It doesn't contain any leucine at all. Leucine is a switch on for muscle protein synthesis, and you need the other amino acids to lengthen that muscle protein synthesis. So if you're just having an incomplete protein, you're just not getting the result, as in muscle building result, that you're looking for. Now, grenades do have whey protein in them, so that's in a separate category. I'm talking about the other things which are just jumping on the protein bandwagon. So things like protein cornflakes just have additional gluten in them, but they're marketed as protein because they've got higher protein content. Same with protein Weetabix, same with protein bars, protein chocolate bars. So those sorts of things are just ripping you off. They're conning you because they're not going to give you what you're looking for in terms of, if I eat this, I'm going to grow more muscle or maintain more muscle. That's why people would choose a protein version over a normal version. Now, let's just have a sort of tangent here. What about if I marketed things like chicken as a carb chicken, if we're looking for carbs, and we just had chicken with just a load of like sugar added to it? That wouldn't be something that would help fuel your workouts. Not really. It would just be a sugar containing chicken. But people could market that and say, look, here's a carb chicken. Or we could have carb milk, and carb milk would just be something with added Nesquik in. But again, all these things, because protein is now the big thing, and now we're just going to add a little bit of protein to it to make it a more higher protein than the previous product. Now it's classed as a protein product. It's not going to do you any good. So what I would suggest is that if you are looking for an actual protein product to make sure to maybe replace a whey protein shake or something like that, if you're on the go, I would look at something like Grenade or the other actual sports performance bars. But also, when you're looking at that, you've got to look at the protein content they have in them. Now, a lot of these, and protein flapjacks is a real one for this. If you look at things like protein flapjacks, the actual protein content is a soy-based protein or it's collagen-based protein. The 50-gram protein bars that used to be out years ago, they were all just collagen protein mainly. So they actually did nothing for your muscle building. So again, even with those bars, you've still got to look at it and say, is this a complete protein that I'm eating? Or is it just something that's been added so they can say it's a protein bar? So you've got to think about that as well. Personally, I say to my clients, and I say this to myself, is if I'm having a protein bar, I'm having it because, yeah, there's a bit of extra protein in it, but it's more for the taste. I'm having it as a taste and potentially maybe a healthier snack than having a chocolate bar. But actually the calories are around about the same. It doesn't actually make that much difference. So if you're going to have extra protein in your diet, have it from lean meat, so chicken, steak, eggs, veggie options or vegan options, and if you're going to have a chocolate bar, just go and buy a Snickers bar for whatever it is, £1, whatever they cost now. You don't need to have, you could get more protein from having a chocolate bar and a pint of milk than you would from having a Snickers chocolate bar, a protein Snickers chocolate bar. So and you get more nutrients from the milk as well. Yeah, there'd be more calories there, but you'd actually get more of the protein you're actually looking for. You don't need to have a Snickers protein bar. If you're going to have one, have it for the taste. Don't count it towards your overall daily muscle building protein content, and just stay well away from things like protein crisps, protein cornflakes, protein coffee. All these things, they are essentially just gimmicks. I personally, I'm not sure of the validity of having protein coffee, because if you heat up whey to a certain extent, it denatures it. So if you're putting boiling water into protein coffee, I'm not sure how that's going to affect the actual whey protein in it. And you've got to also think on that tangent is if something has been rolled into another product, how much has it been processed to the point that is the protein you're going to get out of it, is that going to be any good for your body to build muscle with? Potentially, I don't know the answer to that. I don't think studies have been done on that. But I'm always concerned about that sort of thing. It's like, if you're getting a chicken nugget, is that the same type of chicken that you would get in a lean chicken breast? Okay, it's still chicken, but it's been refined so much and ground down so much and other things added to it. Are you getting the full nutrients as you would from a chicken breast? I would say no. But again, I don't know where the studies are. I haven't seen the studies to do like that. So if you're going to have something for protein and for muscle building, try as much as you can to stick to lean protein sources and get your protein from that. If you're going to have a protein bar, chocolate bar, fine, have one, but recognize it's probably not the best thing for your muscle building. And certainly having 3 protein bars in a day and saying, yeah, that's 90 grams of protein, I'll take a big flyer on that and say that it's probably not the best thing for you. Anyway, so I hope this has helped. Hope this has maybe stopped you getting ripped off if you're going buying these products thinking they're going to do something for your muscle building. Buy them for taste, buy them if you like them, yes, absolutely, but don't buy them thinking they are going to replace a proper diet, proper nutrition. They're good for maybe a stand-in every now and again, but they're not going to replace proper nutrition. Personally, I would go for things like the ready-to-go whey protein shakes that Grenade do. They are very good. I sell those in the gym. I have those myself. Or you carry some shakers around with whey in. You can just mix up for a quick milkshake. That's what I would go for if you're on the go, and then have a chocolate bar with that. That'd be even nicer. Okay, so I hope this has given you some insight. Hope this has helped you make your decisions on what you're going to buy and what you're going to eat. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks very much.